This your boy Aristotle Investments, and today we're going to talk about how to realistically become a millionaire. All right, so I'm sure you see all of these posts about buy some real estate, refinance it, put your money in the S&P, and then you'll be a millionaire when you're 65 and all these things. So I'm going to literally go to the calculator, I'm going to go to the chart, and then I'm going to show you how to get the returns that I'm telling you about, okay? So let's get right into it so you guys are not confused on what to do and how to realistically become a millionaire. So first of all, what is the easiest way to become a millionaire? The easiest way to become a millionaire is to live off one stream of income and invest the other. That is the easiest way. You buy a house and you refinance it, and then you do whatever these guys are talking about. That's just debt on top of debt on top of debt. But we're talking about how to be a millionaire cash, correct? Without owing a whole bunch of people, is live off one stream of income, invest the other. And what are we investing that other stream of income into? Stocks or cryptocurrency, a combination of both. For real, all right? So let's hop right into it. So first of all, what's step one to become a millionaire? One stream of income. All right, so I'm left-handed. So income stream one, what could that be? That is your job income, or if you got a lady, you guys could be doing, a partnership. So you live off one and invest the other, correct? So income stream one could be job, all right, or spouse. All right, so job or spouse. Now mine was job, okay? Now income stream two. All right, so stream two. So we're gonna call this S2. This is going to be your side hustle. So mine was barbering, yours could be Uber, whatever, right? So this is going to be side hustle. All right, so side hustle, okay? Or a second job. So it can be spouse or second job. All right, so spouse or second job. So income stream one, job or spouse. Income stream two, side hustle, spouse or second job. So you need to be either doing a partnership. So let's talk about how I did it. I was making $4,000 a month from the Army. I was active duty Army, and then I was a barber while I was in the military. I was making $3K a month. Okay, so I was making $7,000 a month. So what did I do? I actually did it opposite, because I still saved $1K a month. So I lived off about $3,000 and invested the $4,000. You know what I'm saying? So because I still saved $1,000 from my Army check. Okay, so I was making $7K a month, right? And I live below my means. But what a lot of people will do is they'll lifestyle creep. So you and your spouse, let's just say y'all making that. What y'all gonna do is y'all gonna use $4,000 for whatever, maybe a nice luxury neighborhood, whatnot, and your kids gotta be in private school, and y'all both gotta have a Mercedes, and y'all both gotta do this and that. And next thing you know, y'all got $6,000 worth of bills, and all y'all pocket is $1,000. The other $1,000 still go to eating good and living good, right? But in my opinion, I live pretty good off $3,000 a month. I had an apartment. My apartment was $1,100 a month. My insurance, car insurance, was about $300 for 2 cars. And then food had to be at least maybe $500, something like that, and or $600, $700. And then miscellaneous, because I was in the Army, so they paid for health insurance, this and that. So I had a cheat code on that. So yeah, that's how I was able to pocket it. So yes, I was in the military, so there were perks and things of that nature that came with that allowed me to benefit from this. So boom, I'm making $7,000 a month. That is $84K salary. All right. Now, without barbering, because times 12, without barbering, it probably wouldn't have been that. So boom, that's how I was able to fast track my wealth. Okay, so we're going to go to a calculator and look at what this looks like. All right, so we're going to go to Google Chrome, and boom, let's just say I started with $1,000 a month, right? Well, $1,000. And then we have a 10-year plan, right? At 20% annually at at the end of each month or the beginning, it don't matter. We can go beginning. At the beginning of each month, boom, I'll be a millionaire in 10 years. Okay? So a lot of you are like, Aristotle, that's too long. But think about it. Some of you will not be a millionaire come 2030, and you could have started in 2020. So is 10 years really that long to become a millionaire? Because if you won't have this cash, let's see what that is in 9 years. We'll go 9 years. That space. Okay. So it has to be 10. So 20% return is the game plan. And you have to average that out of 10 years. Now, if I'm being all the way honest, it's very possible. I know what you guys are saying. Aristotle, the book told me this is impossible. My teacher told me 20% is impossible. The dude who was a finance guy who works at the bank said 20% is impossible. But think about it. The bank says they're going to give you 4 to 5% in that range, 3 to 5% high yield savings. That's what the bank promises you at the most. And most of you still have your money in a regular savings account, correct? But I'm telling you, 20% return is very, very possible. I do it all the time. So let's go look at the S&P 500. And let's look at it right here. The market fell 20%, literally right here. So how are we going to get these returns? And I want to show you guys the game plan on how we're going to get our 20% real quick. All right. How we're going to get our 20% is we're going to do option leaps. So options are leverage. Pretty much you're buying calls, long dated calls. So here's how we're going to get it. All right. So now we need a 20% return. All right. So ROI, return on investment, correct? So that's what we need, a 20% ROI. Okay. Now, how are we going to get this? 1, shares. So we're going to do a combination of these 3 things. All right, shares, leaps, and then crypto. All right, so we got shares, leaps, crypto. We're going to do a combination of these. Now, how are we going to get this 20% return? What we're looking for is dips, and we're being patient on these dips, okay? So think about it. This is so easy. All this hoopla about this, and that, and this is how easy we could do. We're investing $3,000 a month, and then we're putting it in literally assets that are great assets. So crypto, I'm going to go BTC, ETH, and XRP. Those are my top ones. Leaps, this could be a combination of anything. Like recently I got in Lyft leaps. I'm in a lot of leaps. I like to diversify my portfolio. Shares is a diversified portfolio, okay? So these 2 are going to be diversified, okay? So I'm only doing these 3 when it comes to crypto. I'm going heavy in BTC, ETH, XRP every time it dips from highs. So let's just say BTC is at 120K highs, right? So 120K highs, that's the high. What I want to do is I want to wait till BTC, so let's just say that's the high. I want to wait till BTC drops 20% from the highs. So let's go look at what that looks like. Okay. That. So we're going to go to BTC. We're good right here. Okay, so BTC is at 113K. I want to take this info line. All right. And then we're going to boom. All right. So BTC 20% drop is around this area, around 100K, 90K, right? So it's at 98,000, around 100,000, right? So boom, if I buy BTC right here, I am promised a 20% return, even though that's 20.5. So 100,000. All right. So from the highs. Okay. So boom, there's my 20,000. Once I put my money into BTC, and SPY recently did the same thing. Okay. So I already put my money, in certain stocks, and this is Leap. So SPY was a 20% drop from this high right here at this low right here. And if you want to see proof, info line, put this up here. Boom. All right. And then you see that? About right there. Around a little bit under 20%, but still. And then that was the time to buy. So that's 24% drop from that high, most recent high, correct? And that's where I like to buy. So that's how you quickly understand how to get these type of returns. That's the easiest way to do it, is to buy dips on very great assets. And if you want to take it a step further, a bear market is defined as a 20% drop. So bear market definition, it's gonna show it. Yep. So bear market definition. See that? Price decline generally 20%. So you want to invest during bear markets. Bear market index is when the index falls 20%. So you're going to keep seeing 20%. When you look up the definition, decline of at least 20% from the most recent high point. You get what I'm saying? So now, I don't really put my money in SPY, but I put my money in other stocks that are a part of the S&P 500. So let me explain what that means. Okay. So we go to SPY Holdings. Zacks. Okay, so we're going to go to SPY Holdings Zacks, and this is the S&P 500, the ETF, comprised of 500 of the world's most powerful stocks. So boom, in my portfolio, all I'm doing is making my own ETF. I have a bunch of shares in NVIDIA, I have a bunch of shares of Microsoft, a bunch of shares of Apple. I literally own all of these, except Berkshire Hathaway. I am selective, don't get me wrong, and I may skip some, but it's cool. You get what I'm saying? You can go to page 2 and you can see more stocks that are owned by the S&P 500, right? So JP Morgan, and this is the top stocks, right? So what I'm doing is I'm diversifying my portfolio into high growth stocks at a extreme dip. Usually the stocks be dipping about 50% when I'm buying, 40 to 50% when I'm buying leaps on them. And if it's under 40%, then that's a great discount. So that is how, folks, I am getting this return. That stuff that they were talking about, how 20% returns impossible, was not impossible when we're doing leaps, shares, and cryptocurrency. Understand what I'm saying? Even Ethereum coin, and I'll show proof that I signaled this to my group chat. But Ethereum coin, we're gonna go to the chart. Ethereum coin, we bought it at about $2,000, even though I bought it lower, of course, but I like to keep buying. So think about it. If you would have bought ETH in April, see that? About right here, as you can see down here, it was $1,400, April 8th, correct? And now it's $4,700. That's more than 100% return. Understand what I'm saying? You get what I mean? So this, like what tripled? Cause 1,500 plus 1,500 plus 1,500 is 4,500. So that's about a 300% return from right here if you would have bought in April. Understand what I'm saying? So that's the name of the game. That's how we get over. So really, I said, let's average this. Because who knows, you may have a down year. It may be a recession year within those 10 years, but averaging this is extremely possible in 10 years. You have to average this return, putting in $3,000 a month. All right, with a start, and I gave you guys grace, a starting balance of $1,000. And that is how you become a millionaire. This is the simplest formula to becoming a millionaire, but you have to keep investing and depositing money. So that's another thing. Remember, we have to keep doing it. We're contributing that at the beginning of each month, $3,000. And that is the simplest way to become a millionaire. If you guys are interested in growing this money and taking the formula that I just used and me doing all the work for you, I do all the research for you. It's plug and play. All you gotta do is put in your 3,000, go to work. I'm going to literally tell you the place to buy. So I'll show you a screenshot of my Ethereum gains. I'll show you a screenshot of my SRP, my Bitcoin, okay? You know, half of my Bitcoin portfolio. I'll show you guys my option leap gains, okay? That I've made. I've literally personally made well over 2 million trading option leaps, you know, over 500,000 trading crypto, over 1.5 doing shares. You get what I'm trying to say? So I've made nearly 5 million in the market altogether doing this particular formula. But just being honest with you, I average over 100% return every year based on what I do, because I just showed you what I do. And I'm buying things on the dip at a discount, waiting on the market to drop, being patient. That's the name of the game. And if you want to automate this and you want somebody to show you how to do it, click the link in the description. I'll pin the link in the comments and you guys are set. Okay, that's it. And you can literally become a millionaire just by joining Honey Drip and me showing you and pinpointing which plays to get in. I do all the research. I make sure the company or the asset is at a great buy, everything you need to know. And I'm extremely good at it. Honestly, the best in the world at showing people how to become a millionaire the fast way. And for my last point, the goal is to take a 10-year plan and work every day to beat that time. So most of you will actually do it in maybe 5, because some of you be like, you know what, man, I'm like throwing a 5. Now that I got this formula and we done did this and that, I might throw in a 6, I may throw in a 10. You know, we got some big ballers. So some people may get there maybe in 5 years, you know, by 2030, if they sign up right now and tap in. And then some of you may take 10 years, the whole 10-year route, and then some of you may take 15. But none of us want to wait till we fucking 65. It should not take 40 years to become a millionaire like they're trying to tell us. It's a scam. Those 401ks, all that stuff. What we should be doing is this right here, and this is how we're going to get rich. Y'all tap in.